What else can a country boy born on welfare? It's about 12 or 13 of us siblings. What else can I ask for? God's been good to me. Been good to my family. You know there had to be some bad fellas on that three-peat, right or wrong, huh? Some bad fellas. Two-peat. You know there's some bad fellas on that team, right or wrong. That first one, it was some bad fellas on that team. I've lived my dream. Who gets to live their dream? Very few people in life. My name is Jerry Lee Belton Sr. I was born in Boynton, Oklahoma. I was, I guess, hand delivered by a midwife. I grew up here for my high school, junior high, grade school career. Enjoyed being here. The most impressive thing about living in the country, I always tease people about three things. I always tell them, Jerry Belton's a bad man. And I say, what makes Jerry Belton a bad man? You know what makes Jerry Belton a bad man? There's three components that very few people have, but a lot of people do. I was born in the country. My daddy lived in Oklahoma City, so I know the city way. And put a dab of education on top of it, I'm a bad man. I got interested in athletics in about the 5th or 6th grade. And what got me interested in athletics is that my brother, Freddie Belton, was a super baseball player. I thought he was the best baseball player I'd ever seen. He was actually drafted by the San Diego Padres. But, by my mama not having the education, didn't know anything about college or school or what have you, she said, my son's going to the service. He's not going to. So she probably, our generational wealth, she probably killed our generational wealth. But I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be famous. Because I just thought he was the most famous guy in the world. And when I started in the 5th grade, well, I'll just say 6th grade, it was a guy better than me. He was the best player on the team. And he probably don't even realize this now. And I've never said it before. And that was a guy named William Lang. He was the best player on the team. And I made up my mind that I was going to be the best player on the team. And I started working like heck trying to be there. And I eventually accomplished my goal. I graduated in 1973 from Boynton High School. My aspirations when I went to college was one thing and one thing only. I wanted to become the first black coach in Boynton, Oklahoma. This is in high school. So really, when you talk about me just for my accomplishments, just for basketball and everything's concerned, I just actually lived a dream. The first school I went to was Northeastern A&M Junior College in Miami, Oklahoma. This is where I met the woman of my dreams. My college sweetheart, we're still together. I don't know how, putting up with me, but hey, this is where I met Judge Ann. And I promised her two things. Once we graduate from college, if you ever give me some kids, I'll always take care of them. And number two, I said, you got to put a little caveat on the cake. You know how that goes, right? I said, if you marry me, you're going to be rich one of these days. That's what I told her. That was the two problems I told her. But along the way, I got a little sidetracked. So I wanted to transfer to Connors. So I called, at the time, Carl Scott was the coach. I called him. He said, Jerry, come down here and you just come on, man. So I go back and tell Jordan, I say, I'm finna leave. I'm finna go to Connors. I said, I want you to go with me. You know what she told me? She said, I don't think my daddy would like that. You know what I did? I stayed at NEO. And that's probably the reason why. Because she kept me grounded all the time. She kept my family grounded. How I became coach is that I came back and I asked, at the time, the guy that was president of the school board, his name was Kenneth Norman, and we'd never had a black coach here. And I used to do some little work for him, doing summers and stuff like that. So I just thought it was a shoo-in. And you know what he told me? He said, Jerry, I just couldn't recommend you for that position. That broke my heart. So I left here and I applied for a position in Oklahoman and got in junior high. And got a position in junior high in Oklahoman. And then, when I was in Oklahoman, a young lady wanted to say a Martin Luther King speech. And the school system wouldn't allow her to do it. And they had a walkout. It was on national news, Walter Concrete, all that kind of stuff.
And that's the way it is. Friday, December 2nd, 1977. This is Voter Crime Guide, CBS News. Good night.
So, in between time, they changed school board. And a guy named Damon Haynes came and asked me if I wanted to come back home. Hey, that was a dream for me. He didn't say it quick enough. I got out of Old Mug and I came back home. I came back to my dream job. All I can say is this: God is good. Coaching style is more conducive to probably Nolan Richardson, fast pace, up and down the floor. Some of my mentors was Coach Quinn at Bowley, which at one time was the premier small school in the state of Oklahoma. You know, it's like my conditioning came, be honest about it, from Nolan Richardson. Not that he did what I did. I just took his conditioning aspect of it and incorporated my conditioning to it because we didn't have the facilities like he had. And this is one thing that everybody knew in this town. Everybody that went to any game. You know what? You know what we had everybody convinced of? Everybody. We might be behind, but if we get to the fourth quarter, we're in better condition. We're gonna always win the ball game. Everybody believed that. All we had to do is keep it close. We get to the fourth quarter. Everybody would say that. We get to the fourth quarter. Oh, we're gonna get them. We'd run the hills. I mean, that was just legendary for all my players. My theory is this: the more chance you have to shoot at the basket, if you can just shoot a little bit, you should make some of them. You should make some of them, am I right or wrong? So you make a team turn the ball over 5 or 6 times in a row, you should get 2 or 3 points out of that 5 or 6 times in a row, am I right or wrong? And we would get with it. Because this thing about it is that when you play my teams, they're going to play hard as hell from the time they get on the floor until the time they end, to get off the floor. And they just know, and people knew, you was going to be in trouble. And from that standpoint, it just kind of intimidated them. I just think the conditioning was so good, was so great. We were as good conditioning-wise from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. Because this thing about it is that we could press. We could get with it. Just ain't no finesse. Probably hit the best press around here. Ain't no finesse about it. And that press was intimidating. That's the reason why they said, if we could just keep it to the fourth quarter, it's over. You know, I didn't coach very long. I mean, I coached a long time, but not really in comparison to coaching. You know, most coaches, they coach 35, 40 years, all that kind of stuff. I didn't coach that long. In comparison, I coached 19 years. But see, you know the reason why it seems like I coached longer than what I coached? Because I was always a star in high school. My name was always there. And when I come back to coach, I was always a star. So I've been around a long time. You got what I'm saying? So it seemed like I coached way longer than what I coached. The hardest lesson that I learned early on was sometimes you could be too successful for your own good. But one thing that I had, Everett Lang, David Belton, Charles Gladney, David Haynes, Lloyd Younger. I mean, I can remember those guys. You know how that goes, right? And you know, it's going to be a lot of them you don't call. They just believe they could beat anybody. We win one game by one, one game by two, and we win the final game by two. I mean, golly, that's unheard of. You don't see that happening. But that's probably one of the most memorable teams I've had. See, when I came here, nobody's ever won a state championship. Once I won one state championship, expectations went out the roof. 1980. My first state championship was in 1980. And it had to be God sent. You know the reason why I said it had to be God sent? We won 3 games by a total of 5 points. And that's still a record in the state tournament to this day. If that ain't God, who is it? I mean, golly. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out, right? But you know what happened to me? I got a whooping after that first championship because I thought I was the greatest thing since Ice Water. I was in all kinds of magazines and everything. You know what I'm talking about? I strayed off from my beliefs. Because I thought I was great after that because nobody's ever won one, man. I was just on top of the world. God made a believe out of me. And how he made a believe out of me, you check out my record till the next time I won a championship. That's 8 years. If I'm so dang great, why come I didn't win one in between then? God brought me back down to earth. And when he brought me back down to earth and I got that back to my fundamentals, putting him first, because I wasn't nothing, I started winning championships again. So I got whooped. I got really, in my opinion, he made me see the light. Then when we won 2 in a row, you know, Wendell Brown, Cat Daddy. We called him Cat Daddy his day. Wasn't Cat Daddy, but that's what we called it. Tommy Lake. Probably the 3 best goals I've ever had on one team. On one team. But the hardest job I've ever had in my life was coaching. Nothing compared to that. That's the only job that sent me to the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. You know, it sounds funny. I literally thought I was having a heart attack, but I went and had my heart checked out and everything. It was just simply stress because it was my dream job. I gave everything I had to that job. Everything. And if I couldn't win a state championship, it was like a failure. And then when I won a state championship, it was like I got to get ready for the next year. So it was never no relief for me. This is crazy. It's not really crazy. You know, sometimes you have to listen to your kids, right? You know what Jermaine come up and told me? He literally said this to me. He said, Daddy, he says, why would you retire and we're going to win 3 in a row? He predicted that before we did it. I thought about that. Not that I thought we was going to win 3 in a row, but I just kind of thought about it. That was a hell of a thought for a kid to tell his daddy, you know? So I decided to stay. Jermaine convinced me to stay. The 3-peat, I'm going to tell you, that team was so together. Jason Harrison, Jermaine, I mean, they were some of the bigger ones on the team. Then the players before on the two-peat, you know, you had James Mason. I mean, he was Anthony Fisher. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you what was cool about the three-peat. In my opinion, the first one was kind of tough to win. The second one, I knew I was in business. You know how I knew I was in business? Anytime you see a person shooting a corner shot and he banks it off the backboard, that's almost impossible. I said, God's with me. God's with me. James Mason. He shot the ball from the corner and it went off the glass and went in. I said, what? And we won the game. And this is what people fail to realize. Every game we played, we beat people 20 to 30 points. It was like taking candy away from a baby. And you know the reason why my teams were like that? I always made them play against the very, very best. All these best players in the state of Oklahoma, we played those big schools, 5A, 6A schools. My kids know how to play against them. Then we get back on our level, it was like taking candy away from a baby. See, and the reason why we had to play them, the smaller schools wouldn't play us. And this one guy told me, he said, Jerry, I'll play you under one condition. And you know what that condition was? He said, you better not score 100 points on them. I knew if we scored 100 points, we'd never play those guys again. Got what I'm saying? Then we three-peated. You know, let's look at TV now, and they say when people three-peat, you know what they call a three-peat, don't you? They call a three-peat a dynasty. So now we have all the conflict between these teams that won these championships, who was the best team and all that kind of stuff. I think when you start talking about the best teams and who was the best team, now, we had one team that was a dynasty, right? We had one that won 2 in a row. We had one that won a single. I'll leave it up to the fans and the players to determine who was the best. I'm not getting into that situation. I never do. I've had some great ones. I think what makes all the teams that I coached unique, they were all in different generations. And so the three-peat, they were in a different generation, basically, than the two-peat. And the one-peat was in a different generation than the two-peat. So they were all great in their generation. Because it's the same as that. Winning is the utmost to them. And that's what separates them from the average. See, some people just want to play. But do you want to be the best? And that's the difference. I don't want to give the top 6. They know who they are. They were the best. And usually including shooting, playing defense, including being tough. I mean, because see, I coach from the 70s, 80s, 90s. They were the best. If I name them, they were the best in their time. But are they the very best of the best? Could be, might not be. This is something they try to put on me all the time. It's kind of like, Coach, who was the worst team you ever had? And this is what I always told my players. I said, 20 or 30 years from now, you can say you was the best player. Ain't nobody gonna know except your teammates. Those kids do that now. I've had some of them say they was the best player on the team, and they couldn't even get off the bench. So for me to name the top, I'm gonna cause a lot of controversy. I'm not gonna say, because I don't want that controversy on me. Because what'll happen, if there's any of these basketball players in here, it'll probably be a few, man, they gonna come up and give me hell, right or wrong, huh? I'll be turning my 70th birthday. I don't need that kind of hell. I just don't need it. When you start talking about all-stars, I've probably had 30 or something all-stars, but to have staters, I've had 10. Okay. Everett Lane was my first. David Belton. You look at Michael Carter, the only player I've ever coached that scored 30 points in one quarter. See, 30 points is enough for a whole game. I'm talking about one quarter. Melvin Pounce. Jermaine Belton, Anthony Fisher, Jerry Belton Jr., Kevin Scruggs. Then I had another player that played for me. He was a freshman when I left. He played for me. He made All-State. His name was David Haynes. So I don't know if I count them or not. I never count them in my count because they were freshmen, but I did coach them. The only thing I could give or say to my players, whatever it is, like I told my son, my oldest boy, I don't care if it's shooting marbles, be the best you could possibly be, whatever it is. And that's what I'll leave any and every one of them. Whatever endeavor you're in, be the best you possibly could be. Hey, what else can a country boy born on welfare? It's about 12 or 13 of us siblings. What else can I ask for? God's been good to me. Been good to my family. I've lived my dream. Who gets to live their dream? Very few people in life. The only thing I ask for, the health for my kids, my grandkids, and their mothers, their fathers. What else is left? I want to be remembered as a legend, alive, not dead. You know, one of my biggest compliments that I've ever had, really, just somebody just said something good about you. One of my classmates come up to me. He says, "Jerry, you're a legend. You know that, don't you?" And you know who said that to me? L.C. Walker. So when people give you your flowers while you can see them, what a greater accomplishment than that. Hey, these people here, they're my flowers. So what can I say? There's only one thing I can say. You know what that is? And I'll leave it at this. Jerry Belton's a bad man.
You get knocked down, but you gotta get up. Keep going. I'd have been knocked down 1,000 times, yeah, I traveled around 1,000 miles, feeling so tired, but you know I can't stop now. Came way too far, won't throw in the towel. It ain't looking real good, but I won't give up. Pac said that I gotta keep my head up, so I ain't going nowhere, yeah, I'm standing right here. Demons all around, but I ain't got no fear. You can kick me around, but I won't stay down. I run this town, ain't backing down, we going in rounds. Yeah, the winds will blow, but these roots too deep. I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. In the fire now, but I won't be burned. I was waiting for this, and now it's my turn. Sweat on my face, blood in my eyes. Been underground, now I aim for the sky. Don't quit now, you can last longer. All these wounds only making you stronger. Don't give up now, yeah, you gotta climb. Go and give it your all until the end of time. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be standing right here until the end of time. Till the end of time. Until the end of time. Until the end of time. Been through a whole lot, but we overcome. Enemies in our face, but we ain't gon' run. Never drift off course, always stay on mission. Won't slow us down, cause we wait.